Next, what we need to do is, let me share my screen first. I have too many windows open. I'm going to close all of them. Here we go. Next is we go into that resource group. And first is to go to the CNAP workspace. And open. As soon as I open, it's going to say that I don't. It's going to say that I don't have access. 4.3. Because it was created using the SPN, and and SPN is the admin, but I'm not an admin. So what we need to do is go to access control and add the sim administrators. So there are two AAD groups that we need to add. One's the Azure Cloud EAP admins. And then another group, also administrator, is Azure Cloud EAP Innovation Lab admins. Let's see. I created. I need to check again. I might have remembered the name incorrectly. EAP, there's the EAP admins. Oh, IO. Yeah, it's shorthanded. IO, Innovation Admins. So who is in here? It's you, Sharon, Tanya, and Amabir. And the other admin group right now, it's me and John. So I was, yeah, that's why I was testing. Need to remove this. Okay. Then once that's done, I need to do a refresh. The VM users. So the VM users, so this is a local VM, right? And this morning I asked Stephen Young, that what happened, what you would want to join the machine to the domain. Yeah. So this is what he said. Currently, the machine is not joined to the domain, right? And Stephen said that as a local admin, we can join the VM, any VM to the domain ourselves. He said you might also want to work with an IA, and probably infrastructure analyst. As once the VM is joined to the domain, the computer itself should move to the appropriate OU to have the proper GPOs, right? Before joining the VM to the domain, and add who you need to as a local admin first will help. Well, this last statement doesn't make sense because there's no access to the MP1 and P1 account, right? Because before you can join the domain, before it's joined domain, it doesn't have access to the P1 and P1 account. So we'll have to try to see, we join to the domain first, right? And use the local admin to add the users, because the local admin will have the permission to add whoever it needs to. But currently it's not joined to the domain, so we have two choices. One is to not to join the domain, then we create local users, right? And you can go in there, right? You can log in the EAP admin, this user, right? And then create your own user account, local user account, and make yourself an admin. Yeah. Or just use this account, whichever works for you. Yeah. So we need to think whether they want to join them. If they join the domain, they can just use their TransLink account, right? So that's something to think about. For now, not join to the domain. Okay, now I can see this. That means I have access, right? So next, what we need to do is to assign permissions to these, all the keyboard, the storage account, and other stuff to the Innovation app, right? To do that, I need to check if Bo is, or he has the ATM2 account, yeah or not. No, he doesn't, probably. But it really doesn't matter. So why? Because what we do is we would pick one of the innovation lab, pick one of the reserve group here, and rename it to, for example, to Innovation Lab 6, right? So this is a free group. First, I'm going to rename this 6. It's forecasting. Okay. Save. I don't know why I cannot save without a description. This is very weird. Not sure why. Anyway, right now we just leave the member blank. So later on, when they have the ATM2 account, we'll come back and add them into here. Yeah. Owners, I need to add you into here. Unfortunately, you cannot add the owner. You cannot add a group as an owner. Then we'll have to do the same thing with all the other Innovation Lab user groups. Okay, so that's created, right? Secondly, is to go to this spreadsheet. I'll send you the link. As in, if you go to TransLink Teams, Data Analytics, the SharePoint. Let's go to SharePoint. TransLink SharePoint. Here. There we go. In under our team's data and analytics, go to not my files. Go to team documents. Where's it? Team document enterprise and platform. I think. Oh no, site contents. Site contents and things under team documents. Yeah. Is it? No, it's not in here, right? Is it? No. Right, platforms. Oh, there we go, yeah. Here, under here. Oh yeah, because it goes platform. And this one here, and under inside the enterprise landing zone, and then security. Okay, let me copy this link to you. The SharePoint is a little bit of jungle right now. In the chat. Okay. Open this Excel sheet called user access metrics and the scripts. Okay. So remember, we copied from Innovation Lab 1 because Innovation Lab 1 has the most similar setup, right? So what we can do is go to Innovation Lab 1 and just duplicate this, make a copy of this, create a copy. Move. Here, okay? And then now we're going to go to this group. Where's your group? Oh my God, this is annoying. Can't just see that. To go. Oh, here. This is the group name, right? Go to the Excel sheet. Where's the Excel sheet here? Right? We'll replace this. Right? And then we're going to copy the group ID, the object ID as well. The name is actually doesn't matter. It's not important. The name is not used to assign the stuff. It's it's for record keeping. The important thing is the object ID. So I am going to copy, paste. Okay, now let's take a look at this, right? First, this is the assignment at a resource group, right? So what we need to do is change this font to 6. Okay, and then what this is going to have a reader access to the entire resource group. Storage block data contributed to the on the resource group level, keyboard reader and keyboard secret officer, so that the user can add or delete a keyboard entry. Next is the CNAP workspace permissions. So all we need to do is resource group name. This also need to be changed. Right. And this is just changed to 6. Okay. Same thing, they're gonna get the contribute act. They'll have a Synapse SQL admin role, Synapse contributor, credential user, and monitor operator. This contributor here, this is I think this is a little bit in order for them to use the to preview the data in the pipeline. You need to have a contributor access on the Synapse workspace. But what happens is I notice when we give the user contributor access at the Synapse workspace level, they are also able to create some other infrastructures. So for now, I think I'm going to take this out. I wonder if I can do a strike the font. Okay, I'm going to delete this and move this down to here. So this is only assigned at the Synapse workspace. This here, this is a contributor. This is a Synapse contributor role. If we go back to Synapse, there is a Synapse role called Synapse contributor. It said that it has grant access to Apache Spark pools, and integration runtime include creation and modification of code object and that kind of stuff. Yeah. Yeah, and with this rule, they can also create stuff like oh shoot, so quick. Like create pipelines, link services, and that kind of stuff. And they can also modify. Yeah. So this is you can think this is like have ability to contribute to the code base. Yeah. And okay, now next is that these are access to our data lake in the EAP environment. So forecasting, they did not say they need any of these data, for example, Compass data or anything of these at all. So I'm going to remove them. They just want a VM and a Synapse workspace to work with, right? Now the VM. So the VM, they need to have ability to start and shut down the VM, right? To do that, they need to have a contributor role and virtual, and they also need to have virtual machine user login rule on the VM, right? So this is IO06. Yes, VM P01. This is to use for bashing. I don't think they will be using bashing, so I am going to take these out. These two are back to use bashing. So I'm going to take these two out. So yeah, I'm just going to remove them. Next is the Synapse artifact user. Okay. For Innovation Lab 1, Graham, he want to see the code, the EAP01 code, the code in the EAP01. So that's what we gave him this rule. And so for Innovation Lab 6, it's not needed as well. Next is the automation account, right? Automation account, this is in the resource group, lab 6, lab 6, and automation contributor. Okay, so that's all we need. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the PowerShell. Do you have AZ command line installed? Okay. Yeah. So what we do is we use just copy, and then in AZ we just and run them. Yeah. Okay. So if we go back to Synapse Workspace, for example, right? Refresh. All right. It's added into the provision now, right? And then if I check the resource group, go to access control, right? Role assignment. You change the scope to this resource only. You see that it's got the one that we just defined earlier, right? And I'm pretty sure the VM also they also have the access to the VM as well. Yep. Okay. So that's done, right? But then there's another thing for the permission is that the manage identities. Okay. I remember what we do to simplify these is that the groups, right? Because the Innovation Lab 06 group has these permissions, right? It can read you can read and update the key vault, and it can also contribute to the storage account, right? With the storage blob data contributors. So for the Synapse Workspace also need to have the the manager identity of Synapse Workspace also needs to have these two roles, right? So instead of assign the Synapse Workspace to these different roles, what we can do, and in fact for the others in Innovation Lab as well, is that we just add user to this AAD group. and you know that with this the Synapse MI will help, you know, all the required access. You need to run the pipeline and the notebook. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. This simplifies things. Otherwise, what we'll have to do is to do like this. I have another tab that's just assigning the access at the Synapse MI level, individual, the individual managed identities, right? But for Innovation Lab, you know, I just put in the AAD group to simplify things. Yeah. Okay. So after that, what else we need to do? The manage private endpoint. We need to create manage private endpoints. Let's take a look at the other Innovation Lab. Say Innovation Lab 01. Okay. You need to have a we need to have a manage private endpoint to the main storage account. New. ADOS Gen 2. This can be the managed private endpoints can also be created by Terraform, but Terraform doesn't do the approval. So at the end, you know, it's not too many of them. So at the end, I chose to do it manually. But just so you know, you can also the Terraform can also create them for you. Yep. And then we need to create a key vault, the entry for key vault. Okay, it's a pending, right? So we have to go in here, click on this, and click on manage approval. The keyboard is, but the manage private endpoint is not. So let me show you this what this this architecture, what the manage endpoint how it works. Where is that? I think I save under security. Oh yeah, here. I'm trying to find a better picture. Okay, so imagine this is a Synapse. I know it says data factory, right? But imagine this is a Synapse, right? So each of our like storage account and the SQL, they have their what do you call that, private endpoints, right? But there's also and those private endpoints are in our VNet. Okay, so you can think about this. Right, this storage account has one private endpoint in our VNet. Okay, then there's this thing called managed VNet, and which is not managed by us; it's managed by Microsoft, right? And in order for like Synapse Pipeline and Spark to access our storage account, right? Since there's no pub endpoints, right? You need to access through a private endpoint. But these services is not in our VNet, right? So what we need to do is create something called a managed private endpoint, right? Which link to our storage account. So these are two different VNets I'm talking about, right? This is a VNet that is managed by Microsoft. And the private endpoint that we created are our private endpoints, managed by us. Yeah. So and then now we need to approve that. Here you go. It's a pending, right? Click on this, approve. Approve. Yes. Okay. And then go back to this. And then this one as well. Approve. Yeah, eventually the approval state will become approved. Yes. So next thing is very last thing is Git configuration. Okay. We need to connect this to a Git repo, right? So what we do is go to the Azure DevOps, right? Go to repo. Usually what I do is go to the manage, or you can create, right? And make a copy of the name here. Okay, to create, we'll create a new repo. Okay, and the repository will have the initial with the main branch, right? You need to create. So the main branch is basically the trunk. We're not going to add any Git ignore file because this is not for any IDs web-based. So I'm not adding the Git ignore file. I'm going to create. Oh, yeah. All right. Now, once that's created, what we need to do is go back to the Synapse workspace. So by default, right? By default, the actually this is due to my setting, right? And I have ability to bypass policies to let's say when I do a pull request or merge, right? If you don't have permission to bypass, right? And for the first time, right? When we want to connect the Synapse workspace to repo, this is what you need to do. Let's go back to Synapse workspace. Okay, they're approved, right? So we need to connect, configure, Azure DevOps, translink, continue, translink, BI, analytics, should have 6 here, right? You automatically detect that the main branch, right? And there's a publish branch, and root folder is we're just using the root as a root folder, right? Now, here's because it already has some artifact, some resources created. For example, the manage endpoints and the manage private endpoints and some other stuff created, right? So also the identities, right? So we want to do this import existing resource to the repository. The first time we connect to the repo, right? Then here's a choice, right? Whether you want to import resource into main branch or so right now there's main branch is the only choice, only option. The issue is that we have this Azure DevOps policy that prevent us to commit anything into main branch, right? So if you don't have the policy, if you don't have a permission to bypass the policy, right? What's going to happen is that when you try to import into this main branch, right, it's going to fail, right? So to do that, there are 2 options. One is to give yourself so that you can bypass the policy, right? Secondly, if you cannot set yourself to bypass the policy, what you need to do is to go to the repo and create a branch, right? And then import it into that branch you created, right? And then once that's done, you do a pull request to merge. Yeah. So I because I set myself to be able to bypass the policies, so I'm going to apply now. And once that's done, you will see this repo. It has all these imported for you. It's correct. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's it. That's done. Now it's connected to a Git repo. What else we need to do? I think that's it for this user, Innovation Lab user. For the other Innovation Lab users, they needed to connect to the data in the EAP data lake, right? So for them, we have to do something else. For this one, that's since there's no specific requirement to get our existing data, right? So we don't have to do anything else. Link services. Yeah, it's empty right now. No, there is only this here, the primary storage account. No, there's no such requirement for this Innovation Lab. Yeah. Yes, and actually no. So this is Innovation Lab, right? And Innovation Lab needs to get the Compass EPC, service performance, and all those kind of data, right? So what we did was we created the managed private endpoints to the curated data lake storage account in here, You see, right? At the same time, so that it has access to the storage account, right? Now, at the same time, we are actually not creating the link service, so that they don't have ability to browse the files. But what we did was in the lake DBs, we are creating the lake DBs for them, and these are connected to our data lake. Yeah. So this way, they don't have they don't know how to, they won't have a chance to browse the files, right? But if they ask us, they request a data sets, right? We'll open it and we'll give we'll expose the data for them in here. This is done by a CI/CD pipeline. Let me show you. It depends on the innovation lab, right? Some innovation lab has, like, you typically you'll see these two release pipelines. One's called a Create Lake database pipeline. The other one is to deploy the serverless SQL. Right? You want to take a look what it does. Basically, it runs it push some files to the storage account, their storage account, and then it runs this PowerShell, right? And what this PowerShell is basically make a REST API call to the CNAP workspace to run a Spark job, right? And the Spark job would basically create a lake database. Yeah. Yes, it's in a variable. When you run this, the variables here, the job name, right? The job, no, so you don't create. Is it the settable at release time is this lake DB name, right? When you run this, right, you needed to enter the name of the lake DB. Yeah, and then it will create the lake database for you. Similarly with for the server SQL views, right? It just runs this SQL scripts, right? And then there is a parameter or pipeline variable that you can enter the name of the database, and then you will deploy the database. Yeah. For Innovation Lab 6, there's no such requirement, so we don't have to do it. Yeah. But I think that's all that we need to do for Innovation Lab 6. And after the user have the ADM2 account, right, we just need to add the user into this this AAD group, right? Then the user should have the proper permission to access. Oh, I forgot another thing is that I don't know you have access to do that now, but in order for them to because they will be using the ADM2 account to access the CNAP workspace, correct? And the CNAP workspace is connected to the Git repo, right? So they will also need to have access to the Git repo as well. And I forgot to do that. Is to assign a Git repo permission to the to the Git repo for the team. You see that I have created these different teams, right? So I'm going to create a new team for Innovation Lab 06, right? Add a member. The member will be this guy. This AAD group, right? Administrator should add admin teams. That's okay. I don't need to be I'm going to take out this out-of-box team contributor because it has a lot of access. Yeah, so I'm taking this one out. I'm taking this one out as well. Okay. First, create this team with this member. So create. Okay. Then go to permissions. Sorry, actually go to the repo. Then manage repo. Go to here, right? Security. Okay. And here I needed to make the user so that they have the contributor access to this repo only. So I'm going to copy what a contributor should be like, should look like, right? And then I'm going to add the team, the one I just added, 06, right? And so it's not set, allow, and 3 not set, then allow, not set, allow. Okay, that's it. That's done. So that whoever is in that AAD group will have the contributor access to this specific workspace. So, but there's also one more thing is that at the ADO organization level, the person, the user, ADM account needs to be in the Azure DevOps. So you do a search, right? Let's say Bo Wen, right? I see his productivity account, right? And access level stakeholder, right? But he's going to use the ADM2 account to access the network space, right? So he need to have his ADM2 account added in here as a user, and the access level needs to be a basic. So give example is that, for example, myself, right? I have my ADM2 account added in here, right? And the access level is set to basic. This is the lowest access level you need to be able to contribute to a repository. And there's some of the licensing costs. So in a way, we have many of us have 2 accounts in here, right? We actually spend a lot of licensing for each of user who has more than one account. I don't know how much that is, but that's the way that we set up right now. Okay, but going back to this, so after adding a user into ADO, right? The user will need to log on to sign into Azure DevOps with the ADM2 account at least once, so that a token, so the security token is generated on the server, on the Azure DevOps server. You see that my last access is here, right? This if the user comes in, he's getting a problem saying that unable to connect to Git, right? Likely is because the user either does not have an account in Azure DevOps, or that user just had not used the account, the ADM2 account to log into the Azure DevOps in the past. And after the logging that in and add it up with the ADM account, the error messages will go away. Yeah. Lastly, Reddy put down, he actually put down some sort of documentation on this whole process. It might be a little bit outdated, but Innovation Lab, there's under knowledge base, there's Innovation Lab creation, just some bullet points on what we just did most of the time, most of the stuff that what we just did. Some apply, some don't apply. For example, the creative database we skipped, right? We didn't do this. We did number 9 connect to the Git repo. First one, we did this one, right? Update, clone the innovation. Yeah, we did the release pipeline. Run Innovation Lab ISC pipeline, yeah, to create Innovation Lab. Yeah, we did all these. Yeah. Assign user uses this script, right? And we skip that number 7, 8 because it doesn't apply for this one. All right. Let me send you a link on this. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, sure. So pretty soon there will be another not necessarily Innovation Lab, but there's some other Synapse environment that we need to create, right? So I'm thinking to have you to work on those. Yeah. Okay. All right. I think it's actually taking it's less shorter than I expected. So I don't think we need a more addition like the other meetings. But do you have any other questions? Yeah. Sure. What you can do though is while you're waiting, right, you can do a practice because we can try to create any of this, right? Go to Terraform, right? Make a copy just like this, right? Create something, and make a change to the TF file and try to create, right? And then, before you run the apply, right? You have apply, you do apply first, right? In me, right, and we'll take a look together and to make sure everything looks okay, right? And then you applied it, right? And then just kind of walk through this once, right? Then once it's done, you can just destroy the entire resource group. There is a big cost, but don't worry about that. Yeah. Okay. Have a good one. Yeah. Bye.